Okay, what's up guys? This will be the first unboxing video I've done in quite some time. I haven't done unboxing really a lot before. Generally I tend to just open things, get overexcited when they come in and then do a quick video of them later. But yeah, I have to thank my good friend Cami who pointed me out this deal on eBay. He showed me it. He was intending to buy a couple for himself. Unfortunately the funds weren't there right at that second that they were on eBay. There was about five or six of these amplifiers all available, and they were priced very cheaply on eBay, and I decided to grab a couple. I told my friend about it, he decided to grab a couple, and the others were also sold on to other customers on eBay, and before you knew what was going on, they were all sold out. But fortunately, obviously I've got a couple here, my good friend has got a couple, and we're all in the basshead scene and community. It's unlikely that we'll have them forever, and so it's a good opportunity there for Cami. At least they haven't gone to random people, and I'm not going to make any money on selling these to my good friend, so they will be circulated in the basshead family. These are by a brand called INOVA. I'm gonna say that as INOVA. INOVA Pro. So this is a PA amplifier. This is the MSA1000. This is the second from the largest. They did, by the looks of it, an MSA1500, slightly bigger version. And by the sounds of it, from what Cami was telling me, this company actually went bust. And these amplifiers were all auctioned off in a bulk order as a very cheap price, hence why they were listed on eBay so cheaply. I managed to get them even cheaper than the eBay listing because I got my good friend to go and collect them and offer him some cash up front, which worked. So I got these for just an unbelievably mind-blowing price. Otherwise I wouldn't have got them because I don't really need any more PA amplifiers, but these would be great for doing house parties when I don't want to take the crowns out, because the crowns are a bit mad to take to a house party. This is a bitch to get these off, these freaking massive hench staples. Right, let's get it open now. I've got two of these, obviously. This is only one of them, and this is the first one I've opened. So what I'm seeing here is first impressions. I haven't seen these before in person at all, so we're getting a kind of first eye view on this. And they're very heavy for 1000 watt IMS. I looked at the guts pictures of these, and they're very big and beefy inside for their power rating. So I thought, you know what? If this does rated power, it's cheap enough anyway. If it does more than rated power, then that's a bonus. Here we have a reference manual. As you can see, they do have an MSA1000 there, which is a slightly bigger version. I've got the 1000 here. And what does it say in the manual? Let's take a check. Standard chip. Wiring, and showing you what all the different connections are. It's fairly standard. You've got speak-on connectors, have you? It did say something about speak-on, yeah. Looks like you've got some speak-on connectors on there. This is for the 1000 and the 1500. You've got some speak-on connectors, some normal speaker outputs, and some balanced and unbalanced inputs. Pretty standard stuff. Dual fans on either side, and the specifications on here state that the MSA1000 will do 1200 watts RMS at 8 ohm bridged. Pretty good. So it's a little over its kind of suggested power by its name. Does 2 times 550 watts at 4 ohms each channel. Total harmonic distortion is 0.03. It's pretty good. A lot of PA amplifiers will rate their power at 0.1, so that's actually quite good. You've got signal to noise ratio 95. Dampening factor is greater than 300 to 1 at 8 ohms, which is pretty nice. I think my crown amplifiers are something near 1000 with the Class H technology, but this is slightly more standard technology to my crowns, and that's quite an impressive number. Not too bad at all. It weighs in at just under 30 kilograms per amplifier, so it's a heavy amplifier. It's going to have a good transformer in there. Now let's get this shit open then. One piece polystyrene. Now, this is pretty heavy, and I hate doing these things on a bed because it's all squishy. But let's try and move this over here a little bit, and pull this out. It might have some handles. Yep, got some handles on the front. Bloody hell! Keep that shit on. Okay, so that's a handy box. One thing or another. get inside this bag. They're not always fully sealed, sometimes they're just folded over, but this one looks like it's fully sealed. So we'll go ahead and cut this bag open here. As you can see, it's brand new, never been used. Bag is fully sealed. And this is one of two, I have a pair of these. Spin this around. Looking good. MSA1000, here we go. So let's get this up a little bit. Let's focus the camera down here. Okay, yeah, INOVA Pro MSA1000. Nice big on switch. The gain knobs are weighty and heavy. It's a little touch. It doesn't actually mean anything about the amplifier's performance, but I like gain knobs to feel heavy and weighted. The crown amplifiers actually have pretty shit volume knobs. They're just very loose and very kind of easy to turn. These have a bit of weight to them. It feels like you're turning up more power, which is cool. You've got some LEDs on here. Signal for left and right. BD, I imagine it means bridge mode. And you have Pro Power and Pro, so protection for each channel separately. So by the looks of it, each channel is quite widely separated inside. I imagine it's got one single circular transformer in the middle here, and then each channel has its separate inputs and outputs, plus obviously the bridge mode. Let's go along here. So you've got, yeah, one fan per side, dual fans, and they have a two-phase speed, so they'll change speed, start off slow, and then change to a higher speed when they warm up. The plug on this amplifier is actually for the Australian market. As you can see, that's not going to fit in my freaking wall socket, so we're just going to have to lop that off and wire up a 13 amp UK plug to that. Obviously, being in the UK, you're on like 230 or 240 volts, depending on where you are, and that does actually give you a little bit more power than in the States, running 110 volts, 120 volts. If you look at the specifications on the manual for big amplifiers like the Crown amplifiers, you get about 10 or 20 extra watts from being in the UK, which is quite handy. So slightly different output to other amplifiers, which I've got. The Speak-On 4 connection actually is left and right in the one connection here. So rather than having two connectors, you have the one, and you have pin 1 being left and the pin 2 being right. I don't think I have one of those Speak-On connectors. I'll probably just be using these terminals here. They feel like a reasonable quality. They look like gold plated on there. You have jack connectors and the XLR connectors. They all look nice and beefy as well. So let me go and see if I can find a 13 amp plug. I'm going to lop it and we're going to power this beast up and see what it does. I'm going to steal a socket from this indoor fan because it's getting pretty cold now here in the UK. Winter's starting to set in. Ain't going to be needing that shit for some time. Can't seem to find a spare one anywhere. Let's have a look. That ain't no good. This got some bullshit 3 amp fuse in there. Need to swap that up for a 13 amp fuse, I think, because that ain't going to be holding up too long. Okay, fuse is all in, so this is the part where we see how noisy the fans are. Hopefully this will be a bit quieter than my Crown Macrotechs, which are like, ooh, you cannot use them for home cinema, it's just a nightmare. Nice, that's not too bad. Nowhere near as loud as my Crowns. It's quite a soft kind of fan sound. Exhaust fans at the back, so intake through the front as standard. You can really feel it intaking. Quite a lot of suction on the air there. No, that's all good. First power up, A-OK. So let's turn that off. Turn it off at the wall. I'm going to turn it on again, so what I'm going to do is take the top off. So I'm just going to decharge the caps, leave it in the switched on position. I'm just going to unscrew the top so we can see inside this little baby. Okay, so this is slightly different to what I was expecting. I mentioned earlier that I thought I'd found a picture of the internals for this amplifier online, which I obviously had found internal for something different. The picture I saw had a single large transformer around the back area here, and then the amplifier guts along each side. This is slightly different. You have one transformer per channel, which actually Crown used that same method. It's not bad, it's just a different way of doing things. You either have the one massive one or two separate ones. I actually quite like the idea of separating them into two. It kind of keeps things separate, each has its own transformer. It's quite a nice way of doing it, I think. It's quite, helps with balance. I like it. And then you have the amplifier guts here. You'll have the drive boards, and then you have the transistors, which will be mounted to the heat sinks in here, and the fans mounted to the back. By the looks of it, we have the two transformers. They then go into a rectifier or voltage adjustment circuits here, regulation circuits. These are internally fused. They have fuses in there, which is an added safety measure. So one identical each side. These then power the drive boards here, and this will take the input from the rear, amplify it, and then the output goes to the back. I'm just trying to see what type of transformers they've used. In the Crown they use the large casing style ones, the big metal silver ones, really nice old fashioned style. In a lot of modern amplifiers they use the small plastic ones. I'm just trying to see, get my head down here as to what ones they're actually using. Not quite. Ah no, here we go. So the transistors which they're using are mounted to the bottom, and they are the they're not the metal type. They're the sort of more modern black. I want to say plastic, but I don't think it is a plastic material. But yeah, they're the black modern sort of more modern style transistors there. They look very big, however, which is pretty good. You've got one massive bridge rectifier in the middle here, very similar to what I used in my own power supply build I did years ago for YouTube. Actually two, I can't freaking count. There's two bridge rectifiers there, one for each transformer, and then this I imagine will then be a DC regulator that will then power each of the amplifier strips here. So now you've seen the unboxing and you've seen it with its cover off to see the guts. Next video will probably be me testing this amplifier out, driving some big bass, probably free air, you know me, on I'll probably test it out on the DDZ, see how well it gets that moving, because I'm very used to how the DDZ is powered by the LW amplifiers and the Technics as well. That even pushes it quite nicely free air. So yeah, we'll get a good example of how this sounds, and I'll also plug it into maybe some hi-fi speakers I've got laying around, or maybe even my JBL 15-inch PA speakers, just to see how it makes them sound.